Happy Sunday! So I am here to do a requested Halloween tutorial because as a teacher, number one, I'm always kind of expected to dress up, even if I don't want to, for school. And number two, I don't like spending a ton of money on my costumes. So it's amazing the things you can do with just makeup and how impressive it can be if you know where to put stuff and you know how to do it. So I am going to do a skeleton tutorial right now. Thanks for joining me. First thing I would do is normally I would spray with some Stay Spray, especially if I was going to be wearing this to work all day long. This is not what I'm wearing to work all day long this year, so this is not something that I'm going to actually do for school. But I would wear this like if I was going trick-or-treating with my niece or like whatever was going on, like I would totally wear this look to like a really spooky or Halloween like party. So first things first, if I'm not Stay Spraying because this doesn't need to last super long, I'm actually just gonna go really lightly with the B² brush and just my normal highlight color, my normal makeup, and I'm going to dab this very lightly on, not because I want this to look like me. This is not makeup that's supposed to look like me, but you can see like I have like some serious stuff going on and I really don't want that to show through the final product. So I'm gonna just kind of go over with this color to cancel some of that out and to balance some of that out. I feel like this is just a little too bright. That's a little better. So again, I'm just going on with my traditional highlight color June, and I'm just getting a really thin layer all over. And honestly, I feel like if you skip this step, I mean, it's makeup, right? It's gonna look fake. I don't actually look like a skeleton on a daily basis, but it's gonna look like it's sitting on top of your skin, and it's gonna kind of like melt off, or look like it's dripping and melting off, and you really don't want that. And so the beauty of like using your actual perfect color is you can see as I'm doing this, it's not really like that much different than my skin tone. It's just going through and evening out some of that redness and darkness. These buggers are driving me crazy this weekend. Oh my gosh, like literally they all just popped up at once. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that first. And I'm kind of swiping, I'm kind of dabbing in the spaces that need more coverage because they've got more poking through. I'm kind of going over a little bit extra. So that's probably good enough for now. I am going to do a little spot treatment on this guy because I don't want him to show up later. Okay, cool. And right now we have that bundle going on, the classroom collection that you guys know I'm obsessed with, and for every 6 that y'all buy, I'm going to do a drawing for a milk cream giveaway, $50 full free, and you could literally do this look with all of those colors. So just a little extra info for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to pop it out because I'm going to use this color the most. This is linen, and it's lighter than my skin tone, so you can see it's like super white. Here, is that a little better? Can you actually see the shade? Yeah, there we go. So it's like a very, very white shade. So I'm gonna put this everywhere because this is gonna give me that like dead look that I'm going for. And I'm gonna put more on than I did my June. And I'm gonna really dab this in because I want this to be super prominent. Now, I'm not actually going up to my eyes. I kind of like that they're really baggy right now. This is when my baggy eyes benefit me because I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna accentuate that. I'm gonna make that look even more ridiculous because skeletons definitely have droopy baggy eyes. So I'm dipping way more than I would if I was doing my makeup for the day. And I am kind of avoiding this area because that's where I'm going to go in with a super dark contour. So it's actually kind of like the same skills becoming a skeleton is just an intense highlighting contour. And so I'm covering with linen everywhere. And linen is not my color, but because I started off with June, I can actually wear this pretty heavily. Actually, I won't do the eyes. I can wear this pretty heavily, and you can see like I'm really washed out because this is like adhering to that June, and it's really gonna pale me right out. I'm actually gonna go over my lips too, because I want those to be white too. Okay. Cool. Now, I'm probably gonna go back and touch up some of the white later, but you can see that really just like washed me right out. And I'm trying to make sure it's even, because I'm gonna go in and move it all around. Smack my lips together a little bit. My lips are super tricky with light colors. And so this highlight is gonna make it even harder. But, okay. Then, and here's, I actually really like highly recommend this. Use your contour, like your contour shade first, and contour your face with that color. Then use the Cola contour, which is black, and go through and do the details. But you kind of want to get a roadmap of what you want it to look like first. So I'm actually going to use the this end of the 30-second hack, and I'm going to use Indigo, which is actually not my personal contour color. It's darker, but since I have it and I want this to be super dramatic, I'm gonna use it. But you could, I mean, you could literally do whatever your like normal is. Like Astoria would be great. Indigo would be great if it's your normal, you know, whatever. And I'm gonna kind of get this going. I'm still contouring the normal way, and I'm getting like a roadmap, and I'm gonna come all the way like right to where my eye is, and then I'm gonna come down. Because if you look at a skull, there's like, you see this bone and then you see it go into the jawbone, and yes, there's jaw back here, but like you want to really show off this part of the face. So I'm making this way dark. Like I'm really making sure I'm dipping multiple times, that this really chisels out that side of my face. Because like if you didn't see this part of my face, that makes me look super gaunt. That's what you want. And then I'm also going to, I'm going to actually like do a really heavy contour right here as well. And if you push in that part of your head, you can feel like it's a little indented. And so like if I was just a skeleton, this would be really dark. Normally we don't want our faces to look gaunt, but it's October, so let's be extra. Okay, so I'm going to do a really dark contour here, and I'm almost kind of like pulling down and boxing out. Oh, sorry. Knocking you guys all around. And I'm using Indigo. I'm going to do a really heavy one here again. I'm like dipping multiple times. Do not be afraid to make this heavy. Now, if you're going to wear this look for a long time, you definitely want to go through, because you're going to make it heavy, and then you're going to want to go through with your perfector so that it doesn't like slip off your face all day long. Because you want it to be, you want it to stay. Okay, I gotta make sure these are even. Yep. And you can start to see the skull, right? Like it's starting to come through because I'm going around the edges of where things should be dark. Under the chin, for sure. The first time I did this, I forgot to do under the chin. And I was like, why does this look weird? Okay, and you can go back here too. But like I said, we're not really super focused on this part of the face. You could even, if you want to be a little extra, you could put all the dark here, like pull this all the way down so it looks like there's no face there whatsoever. But if you saw the picture that I posted the other day that on Instagram, and I asked if you guys wanted to see this, and everybody said yes, I left this part white, so I'm going to leave that part white for now. I'm going to use the same contour color, but I'm going to switch to this side of the 30-second hack, and I'm going to do my eyes. So I'm going to do the lid all the way up into the crease. And I'm actually, so I'm gonna kind of look down at you. I want this part to be really dark, but you want to leave just a little bit of light right here. So I'm gonna kind of like look down as I do this, and you can see that's where the color is being placed. So it's kind of like it's in this nose shadow right here, and then I'm gonna pull it into the eyebrow, or into the eye crease. This is like talent, because it's not what I would normally do, so I really have to think about it and talk about it at the same time. Okay, and so that kind of like really makes this bone pop, because if you look at a skull, the brow bone is really prominent. And so I'm still using that indigo contour. So whatever your normal contour color is, do that first and kind of get a roadmap of what you want. I'm gonna go under the eye too, because I want to look really dead. And I'm kind of connecting it up to that area that I was using over there. If you have questions or you feel like I'm missing something, I want you to be able to recreate this if you want to do a free makeup Halloween costume this year, because you can't afford a costume. That's it. Well, the other thing is, like, as a teacher, I'm usually more than one thing every year. Like, I'm something at school and then I'm something in my personal life. So, makeup, free costume. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going up into that crease, and then again, I'm going to look down, and I'm really going to try to make this the crazy part. This is going to be super dark. And then comes out and meets the eyeshadow, or meets the lid line. And don't be afraid, like I said, to just cake this right on. You're going to want to go through and dab it out just a little, because you don't want it to move around, but get it really dark. Okay. Cool. And then what I actually like about what I did the other night, that picture that I posted on my Insta story, is I actually took this same contour color and I kind of, this is going to be hard, so I kind of like took it from this part of my nose lightly up, and I did it like 1,000 times. See how that gives me like a little more of a, like, I don't know, like I look mad. And I like that if you do it with this color, because I'm going to go back in with Cola and make everything a little darker. But what I like about this color is it makes it look like a really subtle shadow. Did I say shadow? Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. I'm like thinking so hard. And then you can pull this into your nose contour as well. Now, when you're contouring your nose, you only have to go about halfway down, because this part we're going to black out, because your nose isn't actually a bone, so we want to make this look not there if I'm a skeleton, because your nose is just cartilage. I don't love how that, we'll have to come back and perfect that a little bit, but okay. I actually wouldn't contour the lips at all. I was just thinking about that, because skeletons don't have lips, so you don't want to draw attention to them. So that's why I just went over with that linen, made them really, really white. Okay. Now, you could go back through one more time and just make sure everything's really dark, because once this part is done, you're not going to want to like be blending anymore, because the next part we're going to do is really, really dark, and we want that to be super defined. So you can come through once more, and I'm actually going to kind of dab this out a little bit. Okay. Before I use the Cola anywhere else, I'm going to use it on my brows. Just making sure everything's really dark. So I'm going to use it on my brows next. Yeah. So I'm going to dip this into Cola. Cola's that really black contour color. And I'm going to really like terrify my brows. I'm going to use the same methods of when I actually do my brows. So I'm using the same pattern. I'm just doing it really dark. Right? I'm dipping like multiple times. And if you wanted to get a little creative, maybe like make this really harsh right here. Almost like it sticks up a little bit. I don't know if you can see. So I look a little more evil. And then I honestly think that with your brows, you're going to want to come back in with Salem. And you're going to want to set them with Salem because Salem's a black powder. Or whatever black powder you have. I mean, it doesn't have to be Salem. But I wouldn't do like a translucent powder because it'll take away from the intensity. So you'll notice that I still have this part white underneath the brow because that's where the bone is. So you want the bone to be highlighted because as a skeleton, the bones is what should be showing through. And these are really dark. And like I said, I'm going to come through later and do this with Salem too. So then now I'm going to do the detail hack. And I'm going to put the edge, kind of spread this out a little, into Cola. And I'm going to really sharpen this out. And you can make it as sharp or as blended as you want. Mine was really blended actually last time. So I'll do a little sharper this time. But I mean, it wouldn't be hard to blend it. Like you could just take this end and pull it in. So it's kind of whatever you're going for. This part looks a little lame. Okay, so it's really, really defined. You can even take, I'll blend this a little more. Put a little underneath to really deepen that shadow. You can see it's really dark. Okay, I'm going to do it again on the other side. And since I'm doing this sharp, I really have to be careful about where I choose. Like this was right at the top of the indigo, so I want to make sure I'm right at the top on this side too. No pressure. I did get a little right there. There we go. It's a little fatter than I want. Okay. I should just be doing this with my left hand. There we go. Cool. And like I said, if you want to blend it, you can. This is a little darker. It's hard once you have one side, you're trying to match the other side. But just go back and forth. And you can even, here, I'm going to grab the multitasker. I'm going to use it in a minute anyway. To go in and fix those like really detailed areas. Like right there, now that looks a little bit better. Right, and then I'm actually going to use this. So this is the I think I called it the detail. This is the multitasker. This is what I'm going to use for the lips and the nose. So let's do the nose first. So I just kind of like get a ton on there and I'm going to start dabbing at the nose. And it's not going to be like super black yet. It's going to be kind of gray. Just keep getting more and more product and get the bulbous of the nose really dark. And then this is where you're going to want to draw. If you look at a skull, there's usually like 2 lines, and then where the nose would be is like a hole. So I'm going to start from this indigo contour, and I'm going to come down in 2 lines, and then that's where I'm going to fill in. This is super hard to do in a phone. So I'm just filling in that line I created. I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So I'm going to just swoop right from this line down and around. Fill this in. Cool. And the beauty of this is like yours might look a little different than mine. And that's fine because like no skulls look exactly the same anyway. I'm going to make this a little more straight. Okay. So now you can see I kind of have a big nose. So pretend these don't exist. that would be like the hole where the nose is missing, because nose is cartilage. And now I'm just gonna pat a ton of product in those spaces. I'm gonna get real personal, because you can see how it's like not super black yet. So I'm tapping a lot of product. Ooh, don't move the table, Bryn. And you can see this side really needs some, here. This is like a skill to do on a phone. There we go. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna straighten it back out. I'm gonna use it for my lips too. I would go down the center first. Don't move your lips, so I'm not gonna talk while I do this. Okay, so I kind of got a roadmap. Now I can go back. Shoot. I mean, they don't have to be perfect, but I'm kind of a perfectionist. Okay, whew. So this is gonna be an intense part. Bear with me. And try to keep your mouth closed while you do this so they line up, because I feel like these are like a little not lined up. I don't know, let me make sure I'm looking straight on. Do another one. Yeah, that's better. So if you can try to keep contact with your lips, and you can make these a little more defined, or you can try to actually draw teeth. I'm not that talented. So this just looks like the space between the teeth. This one will be a little smaller. Okay, and then I would actually go through one more time, and I would do from the outer corner, make a line, and then maybe take whatever's left and kind of dab it on the inside of your lips. Just to give it a little more shadow. Creepy, right? Okay. Let's do some of the eye. All right, what else do I want to do with the eyes with cola? So I've got the indigo right here and right here. I feel like these are a little fat though. I don't love them. I could define them more with the cola though. I could like come in and make them a little more. So I'm just using what's left on this. Yeah, and then something else I would do is I would take the cola and I would line the lower lash line with it. And then I think I'm going to be done with cola. I'm going to switch to a powder. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to switch to Salem, which is a black powder, and I'm going to use the eyeshadow everything brush, and I'm going to do a couple things with it. First, oh my gosh, I have colors everywhere. First, I'm going to use this on the outer corner of my eye. So like starting right here, I'm going to start pulling this in like a V shape. So like pulling it down to the lash line and pulling it through the crease. But not all the way in. You want it to be darkest on the outside. It's kind of like how you would do your eyeshadow normally. So you would want the darkest color on the outside. But you wouldn't pull it all the way to the inner corner because you want to brighten up the inner corner. So I'm just pulling it in that V, which gives just a little more of a darkness. I'm also going to take it and I'm going to set my nose with it. So I'm just putting it on top of the cola. Here, let me get a little closer. So you can see it's a little glistening, but when I put the powder on, it just kind of sets a little bit. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, if it's a skull, right? Like there's going to be flaws and there's going to be things that are different on every person. So like it's totally fine. I would also go through my brows, make those a little more intense. Brows especially, because when you put those on your, when you put the cream contour on your brows, you want to make sure you set it with a powder. And then maybe I might take this in just a little further, because I'm going to go through with a lighter color here in a moment, which may seem counterintuitive, like you want to really make your eyes dark, but what makes your eyes dark is contouring your eyes by using a lighter color in certain places. So I'm going to take the other end, and I'm going to use, I guess you could use Stardust. I'm going to use Sabrina. Sabrina is like one of my favorite colors ever. And I'm going to go right under the brow in that space that I still had some white. And now look at that pop. Like, I don't know if you can see the shimmer. It's so much more prominent than the other side. So it's not a ton, it's just right there in that spot. And then something else you could do, yeah, this one's getting dirty already. I was gonna say something else you could do is you could spray Stay Spray. Here, let me clean this first. So I'm gonna clean the multitasker we were using because it had cola on it. And make sure all that black is gone. And then you can spray Stay Spray on it, make sure it's a little wet. And you can take this lighter color and you can come in the inner corner and just kind of dab this on to make the lid pop and make this look darker. I would also recommend doing it like right here. So that you really get like, that catches the light, and then this looks even darker because that's lighter than this side does. And because the brush is wet, it'll actually stay and it won't blend with the brown. So if you have a Stay Spray, or like the cleaner I just used would work if you just did that. Cool. If you wanted to, you could come in with like a dark eyeliner. I'm gonna do lashes, so that'll look dark as it is. Like, it'll already be as dark, so you won't need anything additional. Okay, what I would do here now is I would take Moonlit, or you could take Pearl or Dream, and I'm gonna take a little bit of Moonlit, which is the lightest highlight shade, and I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down the nose to bring a little brightness there, to make it look a little whiter. I'm gonna go here, actually I'll do it with a brush. I'm gonna do it with, what haven't I used? I'm gonna go here, make this look a little brighter. I'm gonna go here. You wanna bring forward all the bony parts of your face. So I don't know if you can tell, that made it just like a touch brighter. I'm gonna do the chin as well. Right below those lines. Cool. And then I'm actually gonna take my Perfector and Pearl to get a little shine to it. So Pearl is our white illuminator. And I'm gonna go over those same areas just to get a little extra light and brightness to those areas. I don't know if you can see the difference. It's super obvious in person. Put a little here, maybe a little above the brow. You want to be careful though, because you don't want it to mix with the black. Here, I'm just going to use my finger. Oh, I'm making a mess. Halloween makeup makes a mess though, right? It's a thing. Okay. Cool. I think this was all I did other than the lashes. Right? All I did. That was a lot. And like I said, you could come through and blend this a little more if you wanted. Really make this super dark. If you wanted, here, let me do a little more of a blended look for you so you can see. I'm taking that cola. Yeah, I actually think I like that better. What do you think? Is this better or is this better? Kind of like that. I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? I'm actually going to put a little bit of this darker color on the top too, because it just looks a little too warm up there. I want it to look more dead. So I'm just taking cola down from the hairline, making that a little darker. Okay, well, let me put some lashes on. In general, when you're using lashes, you want to make sure you're using a non-clear glue. This is going to be super hard to do on a phone, so bear with me. But don't use clear. Clear does not stick as well. You want to use like a black would be best. You could use white. This one's like dark, so it's gray. I don't think there's a color dark, but that's what I could find. And I'm going to get a little bit on these, on the weft of the lashes. And then you want it to sit for a second. It's gonna take a moment. Oh, I'm glad you like the blended better too. So did I. Don't you think? Yeah, I'm glad you like it too. That's awesome. You could go more detailed though. It's whatever you want. So you want to like let this stick a little bit. So you notice I'm like kind of waving it around and blowing on it, because if you put it when it's wet, and this is just like if you wear eyelashes anywhere, wedding, Halloween, doesn't matter. Don't put it on when it's wet, because it'll slip around and then you get glue in your eye and in your eyelashes, and it's just not fun. Not fun at all. So I just let it sit up a little bit, and then I kind of keep my eye open. Here, let me get real close. And I line it up above the lashes, but on the lash line, and it's only attached in that one spot. And then I get some tweezers and I attach it on the edges. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to do on a phone. There we go. It takes a little practice, but you get the idea. And the lashes aren't really supposed, I mean, obviously skulls don't have lashes, and so you don't have to do it. They're not like skeleton worthy or whatever, but you can see the difference in like how much darker, and like when I blink my eye, that's when you can see the light. I look ridiculous. I'm like, but it just has like a little more drama to the look. And so like if you look at this side versus this side, it's just a little more dramatic. I'm also biased. I like lashes. It's just my thing. So then I'm going to put it on these ones, and then I can, like, if anybody has any questions, because this will be pretty much the end here, I can take any questions, or if you have other looks you want me to try so that I can do other tutorials for you. I'm probably going to do one a weekend this month because it's October. Let's be spooky. But if you've got ideas or questions or anything, beauty of me being live is that you can actually ask and I can answer you. So, little tip while we're waiting in case anybody has any questions. People ask like, okay, I understand you gotta wait until the glue is a little tacky. How do you know when the glue is a little tacky on the eyelash? It'll start to look less wet. And it'll look, like right now it's very light. It'll start to look darker and less wet. And that's how you know it's ready to go. You don't want to wait too long though either, because then one part won't attach. So I would say like 30 to 90 seconds depending on your glue. I use Duo, which is about 60 seconds, maybe 45 if you're just starting. Then like I said, right on top of the lashes. And then get your tweezers. I mean, they make cute little devices to do this part that are like lash sized, but tweezers in my opinion are easier because we all have them. And you don't have to go out and buy something for an extra $10. I'm all about using what you have. I think that's attached. Oh, look at me, I did it in the phone. Guys, I'm proud. Awesome. All right. So then this would be, I'm pretty sure this was it. I think this was all I did. This would be the look. You could like take down your hair, I don't know, what kind of hair y'all have, but you could throw like a little bit of, I don't know, something in, curls. You could throw a little black in and then just put on a black t-shirt and black leggings and you're good to go. Ready for Halloween. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Connie. Yeah, if you try it, if anybody tries this look, feel free to like send me a selfie or post it, you know, and tag at Bryn Catherine's Beauty. I would love to see you guys trying this and seeing like what else you guys would want to do. But I struggle with lashes, but I love them. That is the beginning of the relationship with lashes for any woman, right? Nobody comes out of the womb and is like, I am a lash perfectionist. So definitely keep trying. Biggest thing I can say is like letting the glue set up and get a little tacky. And then I know I was like all up in your business, getting really close to your lash line with the center, but making sure you're on top of the lashes and then just placing it there. It won't attach everywhere else yet, but you can always go back and fidget with it with your tweezers. Or you could attach, if you're worried about like the outside, you could attach the outside first and then work your way inside and work your way out. Just find your comfort zone, try a couple things and like where you want to attach first, what's most important to you, and then let the rest sit. And I'm actually using hand-tied foam ink, so they're really comfortable. Like I could wear these all day long, but if you're just doing a Halloween look, like don't be ashamed if you want to go out to like Sally's and get like a really, really cheap pair because you're just going to throw them away at the end. Totally fine. No judgment here. But I would wear these like on a weekend or something, and so I want them to be comfy. But that's all. If there's no more questions, I super appreciate. Thank you, Connie, for being here. I think I saw Emily here. Thanks for joining, and feel free to drop comments if you're watching replay of what you'd like to see next weekend. Till next time, guys.